I am Kalyan Bhattacharjee from IIT Delhi, and as a resource person for the NPTEL course on science communication, I am going to share my thoughts on best practices in academic ranking in reference to Times Higher Education ranking, Kuakureli Simon ranking, Sanghai ranking, or academic ranking of world universities, and National Institutional Ranking Framework, that is NIRF. In this course, all aspects related to academic ranking will be covered. I am taking the route of question answer based discussion so as to make the entire learning process interactive and interesting. The questions which I am attempting to answer are most common questions in the field of academic ranking. First question, is ranking is important? It is important for students, academicians, policymakers and researchers. Ranking offer valuable insights into the strengths and weakness of academic institutions across different disciplines and regions. It helps researchers to identify potential collaborators. It forces institutions and government to question their own standard. Ranking can help to improve transparency and accountability in higher education. It draws the attention of policymakers and academicians for improvement of reputation, quality, and performance. Are all ranking methodologies uniform? No, it cannot be, because education in itself is diverse in nature. There cannot be equal evaluation system for all. There are inequalities of resources. There are variability in curriculum and standards. There are barriers to access and inclusion. There are cultural and linguistic diversity. There are socio-economic disparities. Hence, rankings are distinct and separate. So, for different organizations, different institutions, and different geographical located institutions, the rankings are different. What are the types of ranking? The rankings can be classified under different categories. There can be overall university rankings, subject specific rankings, research output rankings, international or continental rankings, regional rankings, accessibility and inclusive rankings, employability rankings, or maybe sustainability rankings. So when you talk about the type of rankings, it depends upon the organization to organization, institution to institution. It is also, rankings are different in different regions. What are the important attributes for ranking? Attributes are many. We can classify them under different groups, but broadly, research papers, international faculties, web impact, citations, reputation, funding, international students, students experience, employability, research, collaborations. These are all the important attributes for ranking. What are the methods of evaluation? Broadly, we can classify them under two groups. One is bibliometric and the second one is peer review. Bibliometric is a quantitative evaluation, that is statistical analysis of books, articles, citations of scholarly journals, researchers, etc. Whereas the peer review is basically a qualitative evaluation where experts in the field evaluate the quality, accuracy, validity of another person's work. But the ranking is for whom? We can again group them under different categories. The rankings are for academic policymakers, where the academic mark sheet helps in finding the academic and administrative gaps. It is for the students and parents to find the best match for further education. It is for PhD scholars and other researchers to find collaborators. It is for the governments, which may change their policy explicitly in response to the performance of their universities. For example, government of France, Germany, Russia, China, and even India have put in place their policies aimed explicitly for improving the international rankings. The question is, what are the differences between accreditation and ranking? So that is my next question. This is a very common area, common questions. I know people mix up with the idea, what is accreditation, what is ranking? Are they same? They are not same. The accreditation is basically for a specific period. It may vary from 3 to 5 years. It is comprehensive assessment, whereas ranking is an yearly affair. Again, accreditation gives an absolute grade, A, A plus, A negative, whereas ranking gives a relative score relative to the other institutions, ranking 1, 2, 3, 4, 35, 400, 500, ranges 500 to 600, 600 to 700 like that. The accreditation parameters are more exhaustive, whereas ranking aims more for stakeholders and general public to create awareness. Every accreditation, it has a visit component, whereas ranking is purely based on the data submitted by the institutions. Accreditation ends with peer recommendation, whereas in case of ranking, it does not give any recommendation. So these are the broad 5 areas in which we can distinguish between accreditation and ranking. Is ranking is a new phenomenon? It has come up very recently. If you see the historically, it has come up from the year 2002 onwards. If you see this particular slide that tells you the initially the Sanghai ranking started in 2003, followed by the QS and Times Higher Education combined ranking that started in 2004. However, this QS and Times Higher Education combined ranking did not continue for a long. In the year 2009, they got separated, and both QS and Times Higher Education, they started their own ranking separately. Apart from Sanghai, that is, and apart from Times Higher Education and QS, there are other rankings, other popular rankings are also there, and I have listed very few of them. So basic objective, and then ranking is evolving every time. The new ideas are coming, new areas of rankings are coming. You can see that the Times Impact ranking has started in 2019 only. So like that, every ranking like QAs and Times Higher Education and academic ranking of world university, they are coming up with a diverse range of rankings. So if we talk about the ranking, it is not a new phenomenon. It is more than 25 years old, and every time it is evolving, every time it is enriching itself. Which are the countries where maximum number of ranked institutions exist? No doubt about it, USA and UK are far ahead of other countries. If you see this particular slide, which tells you that UK, USA, they are the forefront runners, followed by Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and Germany. The next slide tells you the world top 200 universities located, and most of them you can see in US, UK, followed by Australia, Germany, Japan, and this is 2 years old data. We can see that India has 3 universities and top ranked, but actually at this particular moment there are only 2. Now I'll come to my first ranking, that is called NIRF ranking. So this NIRF ranking is an purely Indian ranking, and then we'll discuss about 3 other international rankings, so we can compare all 4 together. Now NIRF, what is the history behind this NIRF ranking? It was in August 2014 that Ministry of Education, that time Ministry of Human Resource Development, organized one-day workshop on evolving methodologies for ranking the higher education institutions in India. A core committee was constituted, taking members from different IITs, IIMs, central universities, NITs, ICERs, with chairman NAC and chairman MBA. The committee identified a set of measurable parameters for ranking. Later on, UGC constituted a committee for university and colleges, and a framework was formulated, which was approved by Ministry of Human Resource Development, and it was launched in September 2015. So that is the starting of NIRF, and no doubt that NIRF has come across to a good extent, and no doubt that NIRF ranking is one of the finest ranking of this country at this particular moment. Now, why this NIRF? What is this NIRF? It is, we can summarize it, it is as a mark sheet. It has, and it brings increased visibility. It allows the institute to seek for more funds. It increases public trust. Brand perception comes out from this NIRF ranking. It improves competitiveness. It attracts students. It boosts campus placement. So these are the basic objectives. These are all unique features of this NIRF ranking. If you see the last year's data, total number of participated institutions were 8,686, out of which 2,746 colleges were there. There are 2,476 institutions that participated in the overall ranking. 1,314 institutions participated in the engineering category, and 776 participated in the management category. And if you see the demography, most of the institutions were from South Zone or West Zone. Both the South and West comprises around 70% of the institutions. Now, ranking branches of NIRF. NIRF, when it started with few areas, but at this particular moment, there are 13 branches where NIRF does the ranking. It offers rankings on overall category, university category, colleges category, research institutions category, engineering category, management category, pharmacy category, medical category, dental, law, architecture and planning, agriculture and allied sectors, and innovations. So the NIRF ranking is evolving. When it started long back, there were very few categories, very few groups in which NIRF ranking used to be done. So now there are so much areas are there in which the ranking is done, and it is an ever evolving, and it is expected that in future also NIRF will come up with some other branches. Now when you talk about the NIRF, so it collects the data from the institutions. They collect this data from multiple sources. It is the institute who has to provide this information to the NIRF portal. So what are the data components asked by NIRF? There are many. One is sanctioned positions for the students and faculty members, students enrollment, both UG, PG, PhD level, and when they collect the information, they collect it for last 3 years. They also collect information on academic progress, placement. They take the data on median salary, higher studies, sponsored and consultancy research projects, intellectual property rights, facilities for physically challenged students, faculty details, faculty with PhD or masters, faculty students or faculties with BTechs are not considered, financial details, how the institution have spent money for development of library, equipment, laboratory, workshops, also its operational expenses, and infrastructural details. In NIRF, when it starts, when it finishes. So entire timeline is around 7 months. The data capturing starts in November. The publication of citations, patents, and data integrations is done in February. Comments on the data submitted by the stakeholders are made available in the month of March. Based on the input received, data correction is done in April. Data analysis done by NIRF in the month of March, April itself, and they announce the result in June. So this is the timeline of NIRF. What are the master parameters for overall ranking? The NIRF ranking, when you talk about, we can group them under 5 distinct groups. But here, as I told you, that NIRF rankings are there for defined groups. For the engineering, there is a ranking. For MBA students, management students, there is a ranking. For pharmacy, there is a ranking. But here, I'm going to discuss about the overall ranking, so which normally caters to the requirement of all categories. So when you talk about the master parameters of overall ranking, we can group them under 5 categories. First is teaching, learning and resources, that is called TLR. The total weightage is 30%. Then research and professional practices, total weightage is again 30%. Graduation outcomes, 20% weightage. Outreach and inclusivity 10%. Perception ranking 10%. So altogether these 5 components comes to 100% total. So these are the major 5 categories. Again, under every category there are subcategories. Now we'll discuss about the subcategories under every item. So we will have a subcategory under teaching, learning. We have a subcategory under research and professional practices, subcategories under graduation outcome, like that. So we'll take one after another and discuss the subcategories, and we'll also discuss about how to improve your ranking and which are the areas where you should concentrate in order to improve your ranking. So first one is teaching, learning and resources, that is TLR. Weightage is 30%. It has total 5 components. Students strength including PhD students, total weightage is 20%. Faculty students ratio with emphasis on permanent faculty, that is FSR, 25%. Combined metrics of faculty with PhD and experience, that is 20%. Financial resources and their utilization, that is 20%. And then finally, the online education, online completion of syllabus, examinations, and SWAM. Total weightage is 15%. The last one is a new inclusion in the last 2023 ranking, NIRF ranking. This last one was not there. It has been added this year. So it is an updated sub parameters under teaching learning resources. So let us first start with the students' strength, and which includes PhD students. So total weightage I have already talked about, 20%. There is a formula for that. The formula is available in the NIRF portal. They calculate based on how many PhDs. For the PhDs, the weightage is 5 marks, and for the overall student strength, it is 15. There is a mechanism of calculating, and then the total number of students, total number of enrollment, and then how many students are registered for this particular course, those are captured. The way of improving this ranking is basically by increasing the sanctions and enrollment of the students. So supposing the sanction strength is 100 and the enrollments are 100, you get the maximum marks. If the enrollments are less, obviously that weightage factor comes in over there. The having a higher number of enrolled students in the doctoral program, that also attracts more marks in this particular category. So the institutions with larger students intake compared with others in that same domain can get better score. So more and more students enrollment and student sanction strength and the enrollments. So these are the two things that is captured under the student strength, where the weightage is 20%. So the faculty student ratio with emphasis on permanent faculty. So the weightage is 25%. The calculation is FSR is calculated. The formula is given over there. The formula we have taken it from the NIF portal. So it is the F is the full-time regular faculty of the institutions in previous year. The expected ratio is 1:15 to score maximum marks. The faculty on contract and ad hoc basis may also be considered, provided they have taught 2 semesters. If the ratio becomes very large, that means 1:50 plus, in that case the FSR becomes 0. So the most important part is how many students are there, how many faculties are there. Supposing the institute has got say 10,000 students, so in that case the 10,000 divided by 15, so approximately 666 faculty should be there in order to get the full marks under this category. That's why that expected ratio is 1:15, that has been mentioned. The next one is the quality. So that is basically the faculty quality ratio. It has got two components. One is the faculty experience, one is the faculty quality. Faculty quality in terms of how many students, how many faculties are there with the PhD, and faculty experience. The faculty experience is also are captured in 3 categories. One is how many faculty members have got less than 8 years experience, how many faculties are there between 8 to 15 years experience, and how many faculties are there with more than 15 years experience. More number of faculty members with the experience category will yield more result. So it has got 2 components. One is the quality in terms of PhD faculties, and another thing is the experience of the particular faculty member. The weightage is also given in the NIRF portal. How to improve this FRQ? The objective is basically the take faculty members with the PhD qualification. Most of all the faculty members should have PhD qualification. There should be good blend of faculty with in terms of experience. It is not only experienced faculty or only inexperienced faculty. It should be good blend. Blend is the ratio is 3:3:4. So that means 3 marks is given for the faculty members with less than 8 years experience. 3 weightage is given with the faculty members between 8 to 15, and 4 for the faculty members where the number of faculty members are more than 15 years experience. So 1:1 ratio is recommended. That means it should have an average to have the highest experienced faculty in case of ratio is not maintained. So this is the way how an academic institution in India can improve this FRQ, which has got 2 components, with the quality component, that is in terms of the PhD faculty and experienced faculty. The next one is FRU, financial resources and their utilization. The weightage of FRU is 20%. The calculations are like this. We see how much of expenditure is being made by the institutions in operational expenses and on capital expenses. That the average capital expenditure per student for the previous 3 years in that discipline, excluding expenditure on construction and new building, are considered. For BO, that is average annual operation that is called the operational fund, that is recurring expenditure per student for the previous 3 years in that discipline, excluding maintenance of hostels and allied services are considered. So when you talk about the FRU, the maximum weightage is given on the operational expenses and then other expenses on capital. So it is calculated in this way: the financial resources and their utilization, that is FRU, the weightage is 20%. It is calculated based on 5 on the capital expenditure and 15 on the operational expenditure. So the next one is the online education, online completion of syllabus and examinations, and SWAM portal. So here there is a function. The data is captured from the SWAM portal. How many online courses are available, how many online courses are conducted by the institutions, and based on that this calculation is done. Total weightage is 15. So these are the 5 different parameters under which this TLR, teaching learning resources, are calculated. The next parameter is research and professional practices. Here the weightage is 30%. The emphasis is based on the total number of research publications and quality of publications, and IPR, that is called intellectual property rights, and the number of research projects, number of consultancy projects undertaken by the institutions, that is called FPP, that is for footprint of project and professional practices. The first component is the combined matrix of publication. It's a research publication. So normally total research publications divided by FRQ. If you remember that faculty required quantity that we have discussed in our first matrix, where we talked about, is basically the ratio is basically faculty student ratio should be 1:15. So based on that, the total number of students, total number of faculty members, whatever the ratio comes, that is divided from the total number of publications. That's the calculation is done like that, and it has got 3 components. One is the P, that is the weightage number of publications as ascertained from the suitable third party resources. Here they take it from Elsevier. A for Q is the maximum of nominal number of faculty members as calculated on the basis of the required FSR, that is 1:15, or the available faculty in the institution, whichever is the higher. So if your ratio is very high, that is 1:13, 1:12, so that is fine. But if your ratio is the other way, I mean, one faculty and 30 students, one faculty, 20 students, so in that case, that will be counterproductive for the institution. The recommendation for getting higher marks in this particular category is more number of publications should be executed by the institution. The publications are done by both the students and the faculty community. There should be a proper ecosystem to have a more number of publications. There should be an encouragement from the institution which can encourage the faculty to go for publications, and the publication should be in the reputed journals. And affiliation of the institution should be uniform in all publications. The affiliation, what I'm trying to say is basically it should not happen that one faculty member when he was working in some other institution, his weightage is also taken. Now the faculty member is working here, so the affiliation is the most important. So what are the publication he has made while working in the another institution, that weightage will be given to that institution. But since the faculty member is now working in our institution, so the publication which has been made by the faculty member while working in our institution and which is published under our affiliation, so that weightage is taken. So this is the combined matrix of publications, that is PU, having the weightage of 35%. The second one is the combined matrix of the quality of publications. So it is not only the number, the quality. This quality part have got 2 parts. One is the citation plus divided by FRQ, and the second one is the publication made in the top 25 ranked papers. The top 25 means there's a number of citations in top 25 percentile averaged over the previous 3 years, and citation is the total citation count of previous 3 years. They are counted. The formula is very simple. It's available in the NIRF portal, and formula I have also shared with you all. So how to improve this one? So the most important part is publish your papers
in high impact factor journals to get more citations. So encourage the students community, encourage the faculty members to publish their papers in high impact factor journals, and once you do it, you will be having a better ranking. The third part which comes is the IPR and the patents. The patent published and granted. So total weightage is 15% here. Formula is given over there. The IPG is basically 10 into the function of PG, that is the number of patents granted over the previous 3 years, and IPP is 5 into the function of PP, that is the number of patent published over previous 3 years. These two added up, and then IPR sub ranking is done. How to improve this one? Under this one, the institute should put effort towards obtaining more number of patents. The scope will improve if you can grant patents rather than only publish patents. So it is an ecosystem of the organization that should work toward that. And we always suggest that if it is possible, that incentives can be given for publication in highly indexed journals and patents, and to attract more patents and research projects, consultancies, and more PhDs. So if you have more PhDs, obviously they will automatically publish papers. The gainer will be the institutions. If you get more and more research projects, you can get a lot of equipment for research work. If you go for research work, it will attract more and more researchers, it will attract more and more students. If you involve students in their particular project, students will be gained through knowledge, and they will be better placed. If you go for a good number of consultancies, again the students will understand the technology better, and they will get a good placement. Ultimately, the ranking of the institution will improve. The next one is the footprint of projects and professional practices. Obviously, it is about research projects and the consultancy projects, and EDP and MDP, that is Management Development Program or Executive Development Programs. So that depends upon whichever the institution. Some institutions they follow the EDP, some people follow the MDP. So based on that, the weightage factor is given over there. So when you talk about the footprint of project and professional practices, the weightage is given over there. So one is that is the average annual research fundings earnings per faculty at the institution's level in previous 3 years. Here the earning per faculty. So overall earning of the institutions on research projects divided by number of faculty members. And then CF is calculated the average annual consultancy amounts per faculty in the institution's level in the previous 3 years. And for EDP and MDP, there is a function that is called the average annual earning from the executive development program or management development program in previous 3 years. So here every time we are taking the data for last 3 years, the emphasis is given on the research projects, consultancy projects, and the faculty development or management development programs. So these three combinations answers your footprint for project and professional practices. Then the third point is graduation outcome. The weightage is 20%. There is a graduation outcome, that is a 60% weightage is given on university examinations, the metrics on university examinations, when this examination is conducted, and then the metrics of number of PhD students graduated. So this under these two categories, this graduate outcome is calculated. So graduate outcome is the metrics of the university examinations, examiners, total 60 marks. It is the percentage of students for a fraction of appropriate intake averaged over previous 3 years passing the respective university examination in stipulated time for the program in which they are enrolled. So a particular student who has enrolled for a particular course, when he has finished, so 80% weightage is given when once the students has completed their studies in given time frame. The weightage factor is 60 total. So it is calculated based on that when you have started a particular course, when you are finishing the particular course. It is basically in order to bring the academic discipline within the institutions. That means complete the entire study within a time frame. The second one is basically metrics on for number of PhD students graduated.
40% weightage is given over there. The average number of PhD students graduated, that is, they are who are awarded PhD over previous 3 years, they are counted. So in combination of these two, we go for this graduate outcome parameters. Now, what are the best practices to go for graduate outcome? The institute must have a PhD and research promotion policy. It should encourage faculty members to go for fellowships. Institute should offer scholarships to its students. Institute may attract good faculty members and grant them the seed grants. Seed grants is the initial some amount of money given to the newly joined faculty member to start their research project, so that with that funding they can complete their lab infrastructure and they can ask for additional funds from defined funding agencies. Research projects to be undertaken by the faculty members, patenting support given by the institutions, conference registration and travel support to be given to the faculty members, upload all theses in Shodhganga with retrospective effect. The strategies for slow learners should be there, especially in the final year students, to clear their backlogs and their graduation. It is because so that the slow learners can complete their course in within the time frame, so that the graduate outcome parameter value is increased. So contract courses should be it can be initiated. Institute may go for summer and winter courses. Institute may start providing them internship, and this internship is also equated with some course credit. So in that way the institute can try to improve the graduate outcome. The fourth one is outreach and inclusivity. Total weightage is 10%. Under that there are 4 sub-parameters: percentage of students from other states and countries, percentage of women, that is called the women diversity, economically and socially challenged students, facilities for physically challenged students. So let us talk one after another each component. So the calculations are done based on the regional diversity. So that is weightage is 30%. The percentage of students from the other states and countries. So if the weightage factor is more towards the students enrolled from the other states, and the fraction of students they are enrolled from other countries. So 25% score is given for the students who are enrolled from other states. So the students should not be confined within a particular state only. It is an encouragement for the institution. They should encourage people to come from other states, and the fraction of students who are enrolled from other countries. So with that we calculate the percentage of students from the other states and countries. And percentage of women, the weightage factor is 30%, and we calculate that how many faculty members are students level, we expect around 50%, and from the faculty level minimum 20% students faculty members should be there who are women. So the percentage of women students, percentage of women faculty members, including women members in senior administrative positions such as head of the department, deans or institution heads, they are considered. And the expectation is 50% women students and 20% women faculty. So if we maintain this one, we can get a good score under this category. Then economically and socially challenged students, weightage is 20%. Calculation formula is given over there. So it is the percentage of undergraduate students being provided full tuition fee reimbursement by the institutions for to pursue their degree programs. And the students counted under socially challenged should not be counted towards economically backward and vice versa. So either they are counted under socially challenged group, or they should be calculated under economically backward. So that is a statement. And the students whose potential income is less than taxable slab shall be considered under economically backward. And when you talk about student scholarship, we are talking about the full tuition fee waiver. It is not partial tuition fee waiver. So if there is a partial tuition fee waiver, that is not counted. The students receiving full tuition fee reimbursement shall only be entered in the system. Then the facilities for physically challenged students, that is PCS, weightage is 20%. The calculations are like that: 20 marks is given if the institute provides full facilities for physically challenged students as outlined, and the institution should have full facilities like ramps, lift, washrooms for physically challenged students to get full score in this sub-parameter. Most of the top-level institutions get full score under this category because they provide full facilities for physically challenged students. So this is the fourth category. And some critical observations for this the OI. So that is, the institution should always be open and inclusive in terms of gender, caste, creed, and religion. The education be made highly subsidized for economically needy students, get tuition fee reimbursement from the university, government, and alumni bodies. The students whose parental income is less than taxable slab shall be considered under economically backward. The last one is the perception, weightage is 10%. The calculations are done like this: the peer perception, employers and academic peer, older institutions get better score. This is done through a survey conducted over a large category of employers, professionals from reputed organizations, and a large category of academics to ascertain their performance for graduates of different institutions. So the perception weightage is 10%. Peer perception is calculated based on the employers and academic peer groups. Older institutions normally get better score. This is done through a survey conducted over a large category of employers, professionals from reputed organizations, and a large category of academics to ascertain their preference for graduates of different institutions. In NIRF, the data which we enter into the NIRF portal are number of male, female students who are enrolled, total number of students, strength, including male, female, total students within or outside states, including male, female, the students from outside country, economically backward students, parental income of the students, and then the socially challenged students, number of SC, ST, OBC students, including male, female. Students counted under this category should not be counted under economically backward. Number of students receiving full tuition fee reimbursement from the state and central government. The number of students receiving full tuition fees reimbursement from the institutional fund and the private bodies, these are entered. So what are the strategies for improving the ranking? I mean, those strategies can be from the institution side, it can be from the student side, from the alumni connect, and from the social media. So we can classify them, we can group them under actions by the institutions, action by the students, power of alumni connect, and power of social media. The students improvement, role of the institutions are important over there. So strategy for improvement under institutions categories. Institutions should try to create a platform for e-learning so that the students get the maximum benefit out of it. And this e-learning platform should not be restricted to the institutions. They can try to make it publicly available so that more and more students who can be attracted towards the rich course content. And the industry connect with the industry experts, plans, research institutions, students counseling support, platforms for alumni connect, develop research culture, reward the faculty members for quality publications, focus on faculty retention, empowering them for innovations. So when you talk about strategy for improvement, let us see from the institutional angle, what are the actions the institute can take. The institute can create an e-learning platform. So they can create virtual labs, animated demonstrations, they can put it into the computer labs. The lab videos they can create, that means when some person is doing some operation, lab practices they are doing, the entire process are captured. Audio lectures of different faculties, they can conduct different webinars, and those webinars data are captured and kept in the e-learning platform so that the students can learn it as and when they require it, and they can go through it again and again whenever they feel so. Second one is the industry connect. The industry connect is very important because unless there is an industry connect, you cannot get good placement for the students. We should be connected with the industry experts, different plans, different research institutions. That connection is very vital for any organization. The students counseling support, there can be a weak student, there can be a strong students, there can be mixed. The institute can try to help the students in improving their confidence through proper counseling. Platform for alumni connect. Alumni plays a very important role. So institute must have a database to keep the list of alumni who have passed out from this institution. They are the people who can provide huge monetary support to these institutions. Develop research culture. Research culture is very important for the faculty members, and the faculty members who are performing good, they should be rewarded, and effort be made to maintain or to retain the faculty. So if you can retain the faculty over a long term, institute can get the benefit and empower them for any type of innovations. So the next one is basically how the students can influence the improvement of towards ranking. So for the students part, they should be allowed to participate in the research. They should be a part of the institutional publications, patents. So they should be they should be clubbed with the faculty members, so that there can be a joint publication with the students and the faculty members. Participations in hackathon, the students organizations organized conferences. We should encourage more and more students. They should expose themselves through the participation in the external affairs. The student media presence, the social media presence. So social media presence, the students play a very important significant role in social media presence, and they keep all the students award and scholarship data updated in the portal. And there should be a project exhibition. The students who have completed their final year students, they should exhibit whatever they have done, so that the next the third year student or second year students, they can see and they can get an idea what are the type of projects they can undertake in future. Student exchange, when there is an exchange of thoughts, exchange of ideas, the students are enriched through that. Sports and extracurricular activity, obviously it provides huge emphasis on the overall development of a student. The alumni connect. The alumni connect plays a very important role in improving our institutional ranking. What the institute need to do under that is to recognize their achievements, engage them for in defined academic committees, so that we can get the latest developments in the industry. The institute is encouraged to that. So with that, with their inclusion in the academic committee, the institute may try to improve the syllabus of the organization. Regular greetings and the events information may be shared with them. The institute may start with some annual alumni events, maybe the 6 years batch, 12-year batch, 25 years batch, like that. Institute may seek event-based donation from these institutions, and there may be some labs and some facilities which are sponsored by those alumni. We can have the name after either by their name or their spouse's name or by their parents' name. So there should be a provision of nomenclature for the supporters, for the sponsors of different facilities or different laboratories. And social media, they play a very important role, and ranking improvement can be done with the improvement with the presence of the institution in the strong social media. So institute should have their pages in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. They should get listed in the key dictionary sites like Google Business, Yelp, NetDoor, Google Ads, etc. The regular update the website, and they should attempt for a mobile friendly website. Upload all research grants, upload all functional MOUs in the portal, so that people can come across the strength of the organization, which can improve in development of the institutional perceptions and institutional improvement in totality. Now from the domestic ranking, I'll go for the international ranking. So as we have discussed that we'll concentrate on three international rankings. One is the Times Higher Education, Kwok-Kureli-Simon ranking, and Sanghai ranking, that is called academic ranking of world universities. We'll go one after another. So first is Times Higher Education. This is one of the oldest academic ranking, initially started in collaboration with QS in 2004 and started independently from 2009 onwards. The Times Higher Education ranks universities worldwide based on the 5 key performance indicators, that is teaching, research environment, research quality, industry and international outlook. The eligibility criteria for an institute to participate in the Times Higher ranking is like they must be having some UG level courses. They must have at least 1,000 publications in last 5 years and at least 150 publications each year. This is not a very tough target for Indian universities. And in the year 2003, total 2,673 institutes from 166 countries participated in the Times Higher Education ranking, and only 127 were ranked. The Times Higher Education survey is done through invitation only. It does not accept any nominations from any institutions or government, and there is no scope for self nominations. The THA conducts reputation survey in-house, get it administered through Times Higher Education conducts reputation survey in-house. They get it administered through Elsevier in order to ensure that the sample is statistically representative. It makes frequent changes in a methodology. So for a new institutions, it is very difficult to follow their pattern. So the methodology involves collecting data across multiple areas such as academic reputation, faculty to students ratio, research citations, and international diversity. The Times Higher Education methodology involves collecting data across multiple areas such as academic reputation, faculty to students ratio, research citations, and international diversity. Each indicator is carefully weighted to reflect its significance in assessing the overall quality of the ranked institutions. Times Higher Education have replaced the field weighted citation impact, that is FWCI, that is the indicator with a Times Higher Education have replaced the field weighted citation impact indicator with a basket of 4 bibliometric based indicators under the umbrella of research excellence, namely research strength, research excellence, research influence, and patents. Now, this field weighted citation impact is a metric used to evaluate the impact of scholarly publications within a specific field of research. It is a normalized measure that takes into account both the number of citations of publication received and the citations potential within its field. It is a normalized measure that takes into account both the number of citations a publication receives and the citation potential within its field. The Times Higher Education ranks calculations are evaluated by an independent professional service organizations. Currently, it is done by Price Waterhouse. Type Higher Education also provides details of rankings calculations to the participants. That means the participating institutions, they get the data sheet how their rankings have been calculated. It uses United Nations to find out the proportion of researchers in each country, which works as a guide to ensure that the survey conducted by them is statistically representative of the true distribution of world scholarship. Times Higher Education uses United Nations data to find out proportion of researchers in each country, which works as a guide to ensure that the survey conducted by them is statistically representative of the true distribution of world scholarship. This offers correct weightage to reflect the true size of their national scientific community. Times Higher Education uses purchasing power parity, that is PPP, currency conversion. This conversion factor is the number of units of country's currency required to buy the same amount of goods and services in the domestic market. This ensures a fairer comparison than sample currency conversion. Times Higher Education started its impact ranking in the year 2019. It judges universities' social and economic impact through the framework of sustainable development goals. Now, the main part, the ranking parameters and the sub parameters. Times Higher Education that offers total 5 ranking parameters, and it has defined sub parameters as well. The first one is the teaching parameters, having a complete weightage of 30%. It consists of reputation survey, staff to student ratio, doctorate to bachelor's ratio, doctorate awarded to academic staff ratio, institutional income. The second one is the research. It is calculated through 3 sub parameters: reputation survey, research income, and research productivity. The third parameter is citations, having weightage of 30%. 4 bibliometric based indicators have been used that we have discussed earlier. The institutional outlook having 7.5 weightage, proportion of international students, proportion of international staff, international collaborations, and the last one is industry income with 2.5% weightage, industry research income from industry and commerce and academic staff. Now, if we see the score sheet of World University Ranking 2024, if you see the first 10 rankers, the interesting part is out of 10, 7 are there from US and 3 are from UK. Few parameters are very important. You know why these institutions are ranked so high in Times Higher Education. Number one is the number of students. If you can see, the student strength is very high, with highest in Berkeley University of US, around 40,000 students. The faculty students ratio, this is very interesting. The faculty student ratio is within, very well within control. That is, in some cases it is 1:10, 1:6, 1:8, 1:9, like that. And the number of international students, huge number of international students comes to these institutions, starting with Oxford having 42% students, Cambridge having 38% students are from outside country. So like that, the equality, that is male female ratio, you will see the male female ratio is almost 50%, and they put lot of weightage on interdisciplinary subjects. Around 30 to 40% weightage is given on interdisciplinary subjects. So this mark sheet that tells us that in order to improve in Times Higher Education, one has to concentrate on enlargement or increase of number of students, improvement in the faculty students ratio. It should be within 1:10 or 12. The number of international students, around 30% international students should be there. So that means the institute should have the potential to attract international students. There should be equality in terms of male female students and faculty, and emphasis should be there on teaching those subjects which are interdisciplinary in nature. So that is about Times Higher Education. Now we'll study the second ranking, that is Kwak-Corelli-Simon ranking, which is popularly known as QS ranking. QS ranking is the world's most viewed and most significant university ranking. The QS World University Ranking is an annual publication by QS team, a British company specialized in education and study abroad. The QS ranking evaluates universities worldwide based on several key factors, including academic reputation, employers reputation, faculty students ratio, citation per faculty, international faculty ratio, and international students ratio. The methodology involves collecting data from various sources, including survey of academics and employers, bibliometric data, and data provided by the university themselves. These factors are then weighted and combined to produce the final ranking. QS conducts several rankings. The most popular rankings are QS World University Rankings, QS Subject Rankings, QS Sustainability Ranking, QS Asia Region Ranking, QS Global MBA Ranking. These are the most popular ranking under QS umbrella. Now, which are the parameters QS considers under World University Ranking? Academic reputation, 30% weightage, employer's reputation, faculty students ratio, citation per faculty, sustainability, international research network, employment outcome, international faculty, international students, like that. So if you see the slide, that also tells you the maximum weightage is academic reputations and employers reputation. That means 45% weightage is there on the survey conducted by QS. For the survey, they collect the names of the academic experts, the names of the defined industry experts from the participating institutions. They provide a list of 400 academic institutions and 400 employers to QS every year, and QS sends a survey form to them, and the academic experts and employers are requested to fill it up. Now, what are the data elements collected by QS? They collect students' demographics data, UG, PG, students' retention rate, timely completion rate, students' nationalities, first generation learners, faculty demographics like full-time, part-time, faculty with PhD, faculty and student strengths. What are the data elements collected by QS? They collect degree options with the micro credentials, online courses, tuition fees, employment statistics, students opting higher study, students receiving scholarship, list of 400 academic contacts and 400 employers contact. So what are the data elements collected by QS? There are large number of data components they collected. So normally it takes 3 to 4 days time for an institute to fill up those particular data in the QS. Why I'm saying 4 to 5 days time? So what they do is basically, first you have to collect the data in your internal server, and then you have to upload those things in the QS server. The data collected by them are students demographics, UG PG students ratio, timely completion rate, students nationalities, students generation, first generation learners, that is the parents, I mean the education of the parents, faculty demographics, full time, part time, faculty with PhD, faculty and student strength, and degree options with micro credentials, online courses, tuition fees, employment statistics, students opting higher study, students receiving scholarship, and we have already talked about the list of 400 academic contacts and 400 employers contacts. So these are the data components are collected by QS. What is a fact file? What is a QS fact file? This is a very common name. Normally once the QS survey data are collected, they share the result sheet. So that means QS shares the fact file, which is nothing but the result sheet, with all the participating institutions. What is QS fact file? So it is basically a mark sheet or the result sheet that QS shares with all the participating institutions. QS shares the fact file with all participating institutions, which provides complete analysis of the institution in comparison with other institutions worldwide. The information provided by the QS covers both regional and global positions. This helps the institutions to understand their strengths and weaknesses. What is the statistics of QS ranking in 2024? In the year 2024 QS ranking, total 2,963 institutions participated from 104 institutions. What is the basic statistics about QS ranking? What is the result sheet of QS ranking 2024? In 24 QS ranking, total 2,963 institutions participated from 104 countries. 1,499 institutions have been ranked worldwide. From India, total 45 institutions have received its rank. So every year, a good number of Indian institutions are participating, and it is the list is improving. Till date, only 2 Indian universities have ranked below 150. It was IISc Bangalore in 2016, where they have ranked 147, and IIT Bombay in 2024, where they have ranked 149. The QS World University eligibility criteria we need to understand, because everyone cannot participate. So the ranking, if any institute like to participate in the QS World University, they have to be eligible in this category. So what are the QS World University eligibility criteria? The institute should offer both undergraduate and postgraduate with minimum 3 batches to pass out. The course offering should be at least 2 out of the following 5 broad categories, at least 2 out of the following broad categories like arts, humanities, engineering and technology, life sciences and medicines, nature sciences, social sciences and management. So the institute should be participating in any 2 of these 5 category areas. In order to participate in the QS world ranking, the institution should have at least 100 paper indexed by Scopus and published over a period of 5 years window. Few institutions who have ranked, I'm just taking their around 13-14 institutions who have ranked top. Again, the 5 so the result of QS ranking in 2024, here I'm just covering not only result of 24 but other 2018 onwards. So that tells you the consistency of the result. If you see MIT, they have been consistently number 1 in QS ranking, followed by Cambridge. Again, they are in first 10. Oxford, again, for last consistently for last 7 years they are within first 10. Harvard, Stanford, Imperial College of London, uh, they are in first 10 throughout from 2018 onwards. Other universities like ETH Zurich, NUS Singapore, University College of London, University of California Berkeley. If you see, there is a consistent. What I'm trying to show in this particular slide is basically the institutions who have been performing consistently well in QAs for last 7 or 8 years. Now, if you see the performance of Indian institutions in QS ranking 2024, only 2 institutions they have ranked within first 200, that is IIT Bombay and IIT Delhi. In the year 2023, 3 institutions were there within 100, within 200, that is IIT Bombay, Delhi and IISc Bangalore. And the other institutions who are ranked are IIT Kharagpur, Kanpur, Madras, and in university level it is Delhi University and Anna University. These are the 10 institutions. They are performing quite well in QS ranking. Now the third ranking is our Sanghai ranking, that is academic ranking of world university. So the salient features of Sanghai ranking is it is one of the widely recognized and respected international ranking of universities. It is in the ranking business of universities since 2003. The Sanghai ranking or the academic ranking of world university is an annual publication by Sanghai Ranking Consultancy. It evaluates universities based on factors like number of alumni, staff winning Nobel Prizes in the and field medals, the number of highly cited researchers, the number of articles published in journals like Nature and Science, and per capita performance. It evaluates universities based on factors like number of alumni and staff winning Nobel Prizes and field medals, the number of highly cited researchers, the number of articles published in journals like Nature and Science, and per capita performance. This ARWU does not rely on survey and institution submissions. The weightage factors are under 5 categories. That is, the result sheet of Sanghai ranking is like this. The criteria for the indicator for Sanghai ranking is like this. They have classified under 4 groups: quality of education, quality of faculty, research output, per capita performance. Quality of education, alumni as Nobel laureates and the fields, the weightage is 10%. Staffs as Nobel laureates in the field medals, 20%. Highly cited researchers in 20 broad subject categories, 20% weightage. Paper published in Nature and Science, 20%. So under quality of education, alumni as Nobel laureates and field medalists, weightage is 10%. Quality of faculty, staff members or faculty members with Nobel laureates and field medals, highly cited researchers in 21 broad subject categories. Research output, papers published in Nature and Science, paper indexed in Science Citation Index expanded and
social science citations, 20% weightage. Per capita performance, this criteria aims to measure the institution's productivity relative to its size, weightage is 10%. So this is the way how this Sanghai ranking are calculated. If you see the result sheet of Sanghai ranking, you can see the good number of US colleges, good number of UK colleges are there, and consistently they have been doing very well. Now let us come for the comparison. If I compare Sanghai ranking, Times Higher Education ranking and QS ranking, which one is more reliable and why? There cannot be a single answer. I mean, which one is more reliable? All three are important in their own domain areas. The Sanghai ranking is a research focused ranking. It gives zero consideration for students' experience or students' prospect. It is for the students for PhDs or postdocs looking for permanent academic jobs. Times Higher Education, on the other hand, put more emphasis on academics. It also highlights good research capabilities. QS, it focuses on students with the emphasis on employability. The QS ranking puts students' experience at the absolute top. It also highlights good teaching. So the next question is, which amongst the Sanghai Times Higher Education QS is more reliable and why? There is no single answer to it. Every ranking has its own domain expertise. Sanghai ranking is a research focused ranking. It gives zero consideration to students' experience or students' prospects. It is for the students either for a PhD or those who are looking for permanent academic jobs. Times Higher Education is an academic focused ranking. It also highlights good research capabilities. QS is a students focused ranking with emphasis on employability. QS ranking puts students' experience at the absolute top. It also highlights good teaching. Now let us do the comparison of QS, Sanghai and Times Higher Education in terms of methodologies, weightage, scope, audience and transparency under these 5 broad headings. First, let us compare these 3 international rankings under methodology. Sanghai ranking primarily focuses on research output and quality, including Nobel laureates, highly cited researchers, publications on the top tier journals, and academic performance per faculty. Times Higher Education focuses on teaching, research, citations, international outlooks, and industry income. It also includes surveys. It also includes survey of academic reputation and employers' reputation. QS evaluates universities based on academic reputation, employers' reputation, faculty students ratio, citation per faculty, international faculty ratio, and international students ratio. If we compare them under weightage factor, Sanghai ranking places significant emphasis on research indicators, whereas the Times Higher Education puts emphasis on balanced teaching, research and international outlook, academic and employers' reputation. QS considers academic and employers' reputation, student faculty ratio and citation per faculty. When you compare them under scope, the Sanghai ranking originally focuses on research incentive universities. Times focuses on teaching, research and social impact. QS puts emphasis on academic excellence and international. When we compare them on audience, then we can see Sanghai puts emphasis on research and collaborations. Times appeals students, academics and policymakers to the broad audience, popular among students seeking undergraduate and postgraduate study options abroad. When you compare on transparency, Sanghai known for its stability and consistency but criticized favoring older and larger institutions. Times Higher Education known for subjectivity of reputation surveys and occasional methodological changes but praises for its diverse indicators. QS are criticized for their methodological changes, weightage on certain indicators, but valued for its detailed analysis and user-friendly interface. Institute of Eminence scheme helped the country to improve its ranking. This IOE scheme, that Institute of Eminence that started by the Ministry of Education in the year 2018, initially they have ranked 8 government institutions and 4 private institutions under Institute of Eminence.
The basic objective is to improve its international ranking and to attract more and more foreign students and foreign faculty. But whether this IOE scheme has helped the country in improving its ranking, the answer is mixed. If you see the QS World University Subject Ranking, it looks like there has been a significant improvement. There are 44 courses in their respective subject categories got their rank among the global top 100. Few examples are IIT Madras Petroleum Engineering course, which was ranked 21, IIT Delhi's Electrical Engineering ranked 49, JNU Sociology ranked 69, IIT Kanpur's Electrical Engineering ranked 87, IIT Bombay's Mathematics ranked 92. Two Indian universities ranked within 200. Till date, two Indian universities have ranked below 150, IIC Bangalore in 2016 and IIT Bombay in 2024. Hence, improvement is there. But what are the issues in respect of internationalization? But there are issues are there. One of the major issues is basically the faculty salary. There is a discrepancy. Any competitive research universities require adequately paid academicians. Once China, India were at the bottom of group of 15 countries in academic salaries. Now the issues of concern, internationalization. How many Indian universities have improved its ranking? Major concern is attracting good faculty members from outside the country. First is faculty salary. There is a discrepancy. Any competitive research university require adequately paid academics. Once China, India were at the bottom of a group of 15 countries in academic salaries. Internalization. The problems in hiring international faculty. There is a problem. Problems are the government of India allows to attract a foreign faculty members with 5 years contract. There is no terminal benefit like NPS, National Pension Scheme are not offered to them. So there is a problems in hiring international faculty, and once your 5 years contract is over, the contract can be renewed again for another 5 years. There is a problem in issuing Indian work permit. The process is very complex. There are too many formalities to attract a foreign faculty member to teach in India. There is a problem in hiring international students. The international students, they are interested to come for technology courses or for medical courses, but in order to take admission in their engineering courses, one has to compete with the other Indian students, and the world's toughest examinations are there. That is called the JEE and GATE examination. The only opportunity to hire foreign students are from SAARC countries and African countries. The cost of medical courses are very high. The chances of attracting foreign students are very less. What are the other domestic issues in attracting foreign faculties and foreign students? There is a growing disparity of salary of academic and industry. Indian faculty members are rewarded as long-term support rather than productivity and innovation. The absence of tenure track system, lack of empowerment, it lacks in number of endowment rich universities, it lacks in attracting public research funding. There are data integrity issues are there. Data integrity is a matter left to the institutions themselves. Universities supply their own data without proper audit. Reputation surveys, huge weightage, around 45% QS and 30% of their survey are based on the reputation surveys. There are doubts over samples, that is their meaningfulness. It is not ensured that the survey receives statistically representative samples. The Times Higher Education themselves selects the academics to be surveyed and ensures that the sample is representative. How to improve ranking? One is improve your research output, increasing the quantity and quality of research publications, especially in prestigious journals and conferences, which can enhance the institution's academic reputation. Improving citations, generating impactful research which can receive citations from other scholars, indicating the influence and significance of institutional work. Faculty quality, recruiting and retaining high quality faculty members who are respected in their field and elevate the institution's academic rank standing. Students quality, admitting high achieving students who can excel academically and contribute positively towards the institution's reputations, facilities and resources, investing in a state-of-art facilities, laboratories, libraries and other resources which can improve the quality of research and education. International collaboration, establishing partnership and collaborations with renowned institutions and researchers around the world for increase in visibility and impact of the institution's research. Reputation management, promoting institutions' achievements, research breakthrough and academic programs through marketing efforts, press release and media outreach to enhance reputation and visibility. Long-term strategic planning, developing a comprehensive strategic plan that outlines specific goals, priorities and initiatives for improving academic quality and reputation to provide a roadmap to success. What are the problems with ranking? Number one, too much focus on research output. Ranking often give heavy weightage on research and impact, where other parameters like teaching social impacts are ignored. Limited matrices. Ranking typically rely on narrow set of indicators such as research citations, faculty to students ratio and international reputation, which may not fully capture the diverse mission and strengths of universities. This can lead to an incomplete and skewed representation of academic excellence. Third one, bias towards English speaking institutions. Many ranking place a strong emphasis on English language publications and international visibility, which may lead to disadvantage to the universities in non-English speaking countries or those with a more regional focus. Inequality in resources. Ranking may lead to disparities between wealth and less affluent institutions by rewarding those with greater financial resources to invest in research, infrastructure and marketing efforts. Subjectivity in reputation scores. Reputation survey, which are often used in ranking methodology, can be subjective and prone to bias. They may reflect perceptions rather than objective measures of academic quality and impacts. Manipulation and gaming. Some universities may engage in strategic behavior to artificially boost their ranking, such as selective reporting of data, inflating faculty citation counts, or by focusing on short-term gains at the expenses of long-term sustainability. Stress and pressure. Intense competition for higher ranks can create a culture of stress and pressure within institutions, leading to undesirable consequences such as academic misconduct, faculty burnout, and a focus on quantity over quality in research. Ranking often adopts a one-size-fits-all approach that may not reflect the unique mission, goal, and context of individual universities. This can undervalue institutions that prioritize factors such as regional impact, social equality, and undergraduate teaching excellence. The sustainability ranking, no doubt this is the one of the most important ranking in today's time, and all the countries are putting a lot of emphasis on sustainability because the future of the world depends upon the sustainable stage actions taken by different countries. Everyone knows this type of things can only be done through education, and education comes from the universities. So the how the universities are enlightening the students to go towards a sustainable world. So when you talk about sustainability ranking, it is the ability to tackle the world's greatest environmental, social, governance and its challenges. Now, normally the sustainability rankings are captured through the information provided by the universities and colleges who are participating in the ranking process. The type of data which is captured are classified under 4 or 5 different groups like environmental impact, governance, social impact and health well-being. When you talk about the environmental impact, we take the data, we collect the data in terms of environmental sustainability related, environmental education related, environmental research related data. So the universities or colleges who are participating in the sustainable ranking should provide this type of informations under environmental impact. Under social impact, they should provide information regarding equitability, knowledge exchange, impact of education, employability and opportunities, and also the health well-being. So these are the type of data sets that is being entered into the system, which tries to capture the sustainability ranking. Again, let us tell you that sustainability ranking is fast evolving. If you see the sustainability ranking of QS last to last year and last year, there is a drastic change. Similarly, in Times Higher Education, the sustainability ranking, they are undergoing massive changes. So that's why you said that the entire world is looking towards sustainability ranking, and the universities plays a very important and significant role in developing the sustainability and enlightening their students, educating their students to go towards a sustainable world. Next, I can conclude this talk with the statements like, despite many disadvantages, academic ranking can still serve as a useful reference point for students, researchers, policymakers, and university administrators. However, it is important to interpret ranking with caution and consider multiple sources of information when assessing the quality and suitability of a university. So, under the future trends in academic ranking, let us now understand the impact of artificial intelligence. The use of artificial intelligence in academic ranking has the potential to reform institutions. AI offers various advantages in processing vast amount of data, identifying patterns, and generating insights which can enhance the accuracy, efficiency, and fairness of ranking systems. Artificial intelligence algorithms can analyze diverse datasets, including research publications, citations, faculty profiles, students' demographics, and institutional characteristics. By identifying patterns and correlations within its data, AI can generate insights into the performance and impact of universities and research programs. This AI-based analysis can help in developing more comprehensive and objective ranking methodologies. Natural language processing technique enables AI to analyze and understand textual information such as academic papers, students' reviews, and institutional reports. AI-powered NLP can extract key information, assess the quality of research outputs, and understand sentiments and perceptions related to educational institutions. By incorporating NLP into the ranking system, it is possible to capture qualitative aspects of academic excellence, such as teaching effectiveness and institutional reputations. Machine learning algorithms can predict future trends in academic performance, research impact, and students' outcomes based on historical data. By analyzing past patterns and factors influencing success, AI can provide predictive insight where institutions are likely to excel in future. Additionally, AI-powered recommendations can assist students, researchers, and policymakers in identifying institutions or programs that align with their interests and goals. AI-driven ranking systems can adapt and update on real-time basis based on new datasets and trends. This AI-driven dynamic approach allows timely assessment of academic performance. Additionally, AI can facilitate continuous improvement in ranking methodologies by incorporating feedback and adjusting criteria based on evolving priorities and standards. AI can help address biases and inequalities inherent in traditional ranking methodologies. AI technologies can enable personalized ranking experiences. AI-powered ranking can provide customized recommendations and ranking that align with specific interests, career goals, and educational needs. This personalized approach can enhance informed decision-making in selecting educational institutions or research programs. Artificial intelligence can assist in quality assurance efforts by identifying anomalies, inconsistencies, or fraudulent activities in academic data, thereby helping in maintaining the integrity and credibility of ranking system. The integration of AI into academic ranking has the potential to enhance the accuracy, fairness, and relevance of the assessment process. However, it is essential to address ethical considerations, transparency, and data privacy concerns to ensure responsible and equitable use of artificial intelligence in academic ranking. Now let us summarize our entire discussion. First and foremost, ranking incorporates the diverse range of indicators that reflect the multifaceted nature of education. At the institutional level, ranking are used for measuring performance. It drives the institute to invest in infrastructure, faculty development, and research output. Ranking leads to improvement where institutions strive to excel in academic reputation, faculty students ratio, research citations, and international diversity. Consequently, students are benefited from access to higher quality education and enhanced opportunities for academic and professional growth. By providing information to various institutions and its programs, ranking empowers students, parents, and policymakers to take decisions. Prospective students can compare institutions based on factors like reputation, affordability, and career outcomes, thereby enabling themselves to select the best fit for their aspirants and abilities. Prospective students can compare institutions based on factors like reputation, affordability, and career outcomes, and thereby enabling themselves to select the best fit for their aspirations and abilities. Additionally, ranking can highlight strength and weakness of the institution and thereby prompting them to address deficiencies and to adapt changing needs. There are arguments that ranking often prioritize quantitative measurement at the expenses of qualitative factors. For instance, metrics like research productivity may overshadow the teaching quality of community engagements, neglecting other aspects which are essential for holistic education. Some rankings may propagate inequalities by favoring elite institutions over those serving diverse or marginalized population. Another challenge lies in the chances of manipulation of ranking. Institutions may strategically allocate resources to boost specific indicators without necessarily improving overall education quality. This phenomenon known as ranking inflation, which can distort perceptions and undermine the credibility of ranking system. Moreover, the global dominance of certain ranking methodologies may sideline non-Western perspectives and disseminate biases in evaluating educational excellence. Beyond traditional metrics, other measures like teaching effectiveness, student satisfaction, and societal impact should be given due consideration. Additional efforts be made to enhance data transparency and methodological robustness, which can increase the reliability and credibility of ranking. Further, stakeholders must recognize the limitations of ranking and avoid undue reliance on it as the sole measure of educational quality. Institutions should prioritize their educational mission and value, striving for continuous improvement regardless of their ranking position. Similarly, policymakers should use ranking as one of the many tools for monitoring and evaluating educational system, taking into account broader socio-economic context and equity considerations. By fostering healthy competition, promoting transparency, and highlighting areas for improvement, ranking can contribute towards educational excellence. However, stakeholders must approach ranking with caution, ensuring that they reflect the diversity and complexity in educational goals and outcomes. Ultimately, the true measure of educational success lies not in numerical ranking but in the transformative impact on individuals and societies. At the end, we like to say that in God we trust, but for everything else we need data which is to be supported by evidence. So whenever we are participating in the ranking, we should provide sufficient data to support our claims. And in ranking, there is only one sentence we can say: excellence is a journey, not our destination. So during the process of academic activities in university, make sure the excellence is maintained at every stage, but number should not be our destination. If you do well, if you perform well, your ranking will improve automatically. but we should not go reverse, like we should achieve a ranking and then we'll work backward. It doesn't work like that. So if you imbibe excellence in all spheres of your the education journey, the institutional administrative journey, institution research journey, institution teaching journey, good result is a final destination for you all. Thank you very much.